Thank you very much, Shanti. UNC family. UNC family. The beautiful people of Debe. Thank you for welcoming me in the constituency of Oropuch East, better known as the Den of the Lion. The Lion of Oropuch East, the Honorable Dr. Rudal Munilal. I want to acknowledge the presence of my parliamentary colleagues, both in the upper and lower house, members of the local government fraternity. I also see our activist constituency executive. If you stand where I am right now, this is a packed hall right here at Debe High School on a Tuesday evening. A packed hall. I was sitting next to Dr. Munil and I said, Debe have some really big pavements. This is one of the biggest pavement reports we have had in the United National Congress. And your presence here tonight signals that you are ready. You are ready to get rid of Stuart Young. You are ready to get rid of Keith Rowley. You are ready to get rid of all of them. All of them must go. It could be 11, it could be 9. All of them must go. The United National Congress is poised. We are ready. We are a well-oiled machine to take on General Election 2025 and return the great party of the UNC to the corridors of power and install a Prime Minister none other than the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessa of Senior Council as the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Yesterday, my brothers and sisters, we were summoned to the Parliament to discuss a very important matter, and it had to deal with what has been proclaimed or declared in Trinidad and Tobago on the 30th of December 2024, which is a state of public emergency. And yesterday the Parliament was summoned to discuss the statement of Her Excellency with respect to the proclamation of the state of emergency and the extension of the state of emergency for a further 3 months or 90 days. And the government came to that debate and they could not give us a cogent piece of compelling evidence that would suggest that they required a state of emergency for the next 3 months. They did not tell us of the successes of the state of emergency. Today, we know through the media that on All Year's night, Randall Hector, an attorney at law, leaving church, was gunned down. A couple days ago, a colleague of mine and a dear friend, Miss Kumari Baksha and her husband, another attorney at law, was killed in their Komoto home, gagged, murdered, brutally murdered. And that is the success of the state of emergency. We in the United National Congress indicated through the opposition leader who spoke 3 times yesterday on both debates and then on the national emblems debate. What is the relevance? What is the success of the state of emergency? Rowley get up, he say, well, if we didn't have the state of emergency, we may have had more murders. How Rowley know that? How Rowley know that? Today, we are afraid to come out of our homes because of the crime situation. He tells us, he says, he know that it have police officer lock up in police station in the night, taking off the light because they're afraid to go outside and fight crime. We put Erla Christopher there. It is Rowley. Rowley used his majority in the Parliament to appoint Erla Christopher. And then he gave her a 1-year extension last year to this year. Rowley is responsible, directly responsible for what is taking place with the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. So don't let Rowley come and fool you and tell you, well, look, we tried to have a state of emergency to help deal with the crime situation. Kamla Persad Bissessa called for the state of emergency in January last year. And he said, you know what? That won't work. In 2011, when we had a state of emergency, he chastised the former government. He said, we are wasting time. We have enough laws on the books to deal with crime. Well, tonight I will go through some of those laws with you. But this state of emergency is a complete waste of time. It is not helping the crime situation. Everyone is still afraid. We are apprehensive. Businessmen are afraid because the crime situation is still unabated. Now, I want to tell you that under the regulations with respect to the crime situation, They have proclaimed several pieces of legislation through the president's hand. But this is not the president doing this. This is Rowley and the cabinet and Stuart Young telling the president what to sign off on. So don't get fooled and think Mrs. Christine Kangaloo doing this on her own. It is Rowley and Stuart Young instructing her what to do. Now it have a regulation called Regulation 3, and I spoke of this yesterday in the debate. It deals with the state of emergency regulations, making it a criminal offense that if someone has firearms, they have ammunition, they have explosives, that they will be charged under the state of emergency under those laws. Do you know that that law is already existing on the book without a state of emergency? Under Section 6 of the Firearms Act, it is already illegal to be in possession of a firearm, ammunition without a permit. In fact, under the state of emergency, if you are fined or you are charged, prosecuted, the offense and the fine is $100,000 and imprisonment for 5 years. If you are charged under the Firearms Act, the first offense is $500,000 or 15 years in prison. So there are much more stiffer penalties, harsher penalties under the existing law rather than the emergency law. Now I raised this point yesterday in the parliament. Stuart Young, the next prime minister, get up after me. He says, Saddam, I know what he's talking about. He says, Saddam don't know what he's saying about the emergency regulations. Well, today in the Guardian, the Trinidad Guardian, there's an article and it reads, Magistrate asked cop why man was charged under SOE. He says the regular laws carry stiffer penalty. So what me and the acting chief magistrate wrong and Stuart Young correct? Stuart Young, you probably collect your senior counsel silk in a cellophane bag. That is what you do. When I was in the law school, I graduated on the principal rules of honor. And I don't need silk to tell you that the state of emergency laws is a waste of time. They already existing on the books. The acting chief magistrate came out in open court and said, look, this thing is already a law. Why are you charging people under the state of emergency? Charge them under the Firearms Act. The penalties are stiffer. They are harsher. If you're really serious about this crime situation, the government, what they need to do is call the election now because they have lost we have lost all confidence in them. Call the elections now. They have given up. Could you imagine they declared a state of emergency on the 30th of December? They go on with the bikini and swim trunks in Tobago, swimming. They must study in no state of emergency. And when they reached there, it had a big fight. Who go be the leader? They wasn't thinking about criminal. They wasn't thinking about 6, 7, 8, 9 gang. They were thinking about who will be the next leader after Rowley resigned. They did not care about your safety. They did not care about that. They cared about themselves. And we must tell them that the UNC cares about the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So it could be Stuart Young, it could be Keith Rowley, it's the same circus and the same clowns that we're dealing with. And you must vote out those clowns out of office. We must vote them out. We also in this country have very, very harsh laws, very invasive laws when it comes to intelligence gathering. You are telling me that on Olia's night, that attorney at law, Mr. Hector, was gunned down, and the intelligence agencies, the SSA, did not have intelligence to inform law enforcement that there's a hit on this man's life? When the president brought a statement to the parliament, we were told that a gang leader, alleged gang leader, was almost gunned down outside the Bessemer Street police station. Are you telling us that there was not an intelligence hit to inform law enforcement that this was in fact going to happen? You know what they were doing with the SSA? They were using the SSA as a political weapon to spy on their political opponents. That is what they were doing. They don't want to know which criminal going after which attorney or which criminal going after which criminal. You know what they wanted to know? They wanted to know if Mrs. Munilal calling Dr. Munilal to buy whole wheat bread or white bread. That is what they were doing. They were tapping the cell phones of political opponents. Their business is not about fighting crime. They want to know where our next meeting is. They want to know where we're going to lime. They are not in the business of governance in Trinidad and Tobago, and we must reject them, and we must vote them out. We must vote them out. We must vote them out. There's another issue that I wish to raise while I'm on this matter of the leadership of the country. I don't care about what the PNM Constitution says. That is none of my business. I have no business with that. My business is with the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And whatever a political party does has direct implications on the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. So when they decide to play the fool in Balize House and play soap opera, Bold and Beautiful and Young and Restless, they must understand that there are serious implications with respect to the Constitution. Because Section 76 of the Constitution speaks about the appointment of a Prime Minister. And this section deals with the President having to be convinced of the person who commands the majority of the House of Representatives will be appointed as the Prime Minister. But the Constitution does not only say it has to be the man who commands the majority. This is what it says. The Constitution acknowledges the political leader of the party that wins the majority of seats in the House will be appointed as the Prime Minister. It is clear. It says, the President shall appoint as Prime Minister a member in the House of Representatives who is the leader in that House of the party which commands the support of the majority of members of that House. So the first port of call the President will look at is who is the political leader that won the general election. That person will be the Prime Minister of the country. And if there's no undisputed leader, they will now go to see who has the majority. But what the PNM has now done is probably turning this country into a constitutional crisis. Because now, what they have done is going to appoint a man who is not the political leader of the PNM as the Prime Minister, and Rowley will continue to be the political leader of the PNM. So there must be a clear directive of what they are doing, because it may affect Section 76 of the Constitution. I saw Senior Counsel Martin Daly also raise this issue in the Trinidad Express on Sunday, calling the article, I believe, the awkwardness of the President. So those are very serious matters of what happens in Balize House could have national implication to Trinidad and Tobago and its governance. And then yesterday, Rowley says, in this state of emergency, again, they're only thinking about what Balize House business in the Red House. He said that the criminals have killing machines, they have automatic rifles. All you know that it is manufactured in Trinidad? They have no gun factory in Trinidad. Those things come through the illegal ports of entry. He spoke of killing machines. I am reliably told that the port of Point Lisas in the last 3 years did not have operational scanners. You have no proper boats manning the Coast Guard, the coast of Trinidad and Tobago. You have the intelligence agencies collapse, and that is all what is contributing to this runaway crime situation and the criminals having high-powered rifles and automatic firearms in their possession. And these are serious issues that we raise on this platform. I am also told that there are issues with the TTRA and the duplication of resources and also confusion with the workers after that Privy Council judgment. So today, my brothers and sisters, we have lost faith, we have lost confidence in this PNM government. Be it Young, be it Rowley, we want them out. We want them all out. We want them all out. My brothers and sisters, we on the United National Congress, we have the plan. We have the policies. We have indicated that when we get back in power, we will make sure that gun ownership becomes easier for those who deserve it. You must be able to stand your ground against the criminals. Rowley and his cabinet, they are protecting the criminals. We will ensure that we put the criminals behind bars if you elect us as the next United National Congress government. Look, I went back into history. This is a CNC3 article dated the 7th of January 2014. And the article reads, this is when Rowley was opposition leader. In the 7 p.m. news, breaking news, the People's National Movement says it has an overnight plan to fix the police service and crime on a whole. 7th of January 2014. You know how much night passed after that? You know how much night passed after that? Today they are recording over 5,000 murders in Trinidad and Tobago. 5,000 murders. We must get these people out if you want to feel safe again. You must get these people out if you want to feel safe again. So my brothers and sisters, I thank you all for this show of support here for the United National Congress. You are ready. We are ready. Let us get rid of Stuart Young, Keith Rowley, and all of them. All must go, and I thank you very much.